Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Black Gentleman's Culture Premium Cigar and Spirits channel. And today we are out here doing a pairing with the Saki Nigiri that I received from Privada Club, as you can see, from 723. This is a 6x46 stick, and they aged this stick before getting it. So right now, this stick by Privada Club aged it 3 years. The company who sold it to them before they sent it to them gave it a year and a half, and basically I gave it 2 years in my humidor. So this is basically a 6-year aged cigar. That being said, the wrapper is Ecuadorian Habano, the binder is Ecuadorian Habano, and fillers Especial. Now, the body, no, you get a slight barn and funky. There was no sweet cereal grain. Foot, that's where you get the cereal grain and funky still. And the cold draw, you get that funky, little funky smell coming through. But that's where you get the main cereal grain. There is a sweetness to this. Now, I decided to pair this, and guess what? I got some dark chocolate with sea salt. Well, it's dark chocolate sea salt caramel. So I decided to pair that with this, also with a purple wine. That's the name of the wine, purple. It's a sweet red. So I'm going to see how these three interact. That being said, I'm going to go ahead, get through the first third, and I'll start the pairing, like I said, and see how the wine, the chocolate, and the cigar all play together. All right, folks, see you then. Okay, everyone, and welcome back. And we're done with the first third. As you can see, this burn is off. It has a nice little shag going on. Now, as far as that's concerned, the draw is perfect. You know how I say, if I wanted to, I could use this as a straw. I absolutely could. That's how perfect the draw is. Now, let's get into the cigar. Now, as far as the flavor coming off of the cigar, let's start with the retrohale. Smooth. You could tell that this is aged tobacco. There is nothing in the retrohale other than a creaminess that's just smooth. There's no spice, there's no fruity, there's no cedar. Just a nice, smooth retrohale. Won't tear up your palate or nothing like that, or your sinuses. Now, as far as the cigar itself, now it has a slight sweetness that's coming from the grain they call cereal. But, like I said, this is a triple pairing. Now, what happens is the dark chocolate with the sea salt, that brings out the spiciness of the cigar. There is a slight undertone that I would say that's a cayenne pepper or a red pepper, very slight, but the dark chocolate and the sea salt brings it up. It's not something you're really gonna get off of the cigar without this chocolate, which is kind of odd. Now, that being said, it isn't overbearing, but it does last until you draw on the cigar again. So, it's almost like there's a coating coming off of this dark chocolate with sea salt caramel that keeps this, like I said, that spiciness alive on the palate. It's not harsh. This cigar can be enjoyed by a newbie quite easily, but it is there. Now, like I said, there is a slight slight sweet graininess coming off of the draw itself. But like I said, it steps to the side. I'm trying to think of a better way of saying it, but it actually does steps to the side and gives way to the spiciness coming that's from the dark chocolate and the sea salt. That being said, I'll let you know exactly how it's going with the wine. Alright folks, see you on that pairing part. Alright folks, like I said, I paired this. It's a triple pairing. It's some dark chocolate with caramel sea salt. And I don't want to butcher the chocolate's name, but give me a second. I'm going to butcher it anyway for you. But what I'm drinking with this is the wine called Purple. This is a sweet red wine, but let me tell you, it's kind of odd how the sweetness comes through. First and foremost, when you drink this, it begins with a tartness that subsides and gives way to the sweetness. Now, far as this going with this cigar, right now I'm at an 8 because it really enhances what's coming off of the cigar. It helps with the spiciness that's coming through, and it also helps, believe it or not, I say it's helping with the retrohale. It's really one of those wines that I'm shocked that it's more complimentary than it is let me be a standout. So if you like a sweet wine that isn't overbearingly sweet with a kick of tartness to it, this purple wine is going to come through. Now, far as all three together, that's where it does its best work. It helps with the bitterness of the dark chocolate. It helps break it up a little bit quicker so the dark chocolate bitterness isn't lingering on your palate, which it can interfere with the cigar itself or with the retrohale. That being said, all three right now is an 8. I'll let you know at the halfway point if anything has changed, and I'll let you know the rating is going to go up, go down, or stay the same. Alright folks. Okay, we're back, and the burn is down to that kiddie roller coaster. It's trying its best to become razor sharp, and it is doing quite well at it. Now, let me tell you, watch out for the ash. It falls off in big chunks. And right after I did the video, the ash fell off, and let me tell you, that's when a big flavor profile change kicked in. Now I am getting the grain there, talking about that cereal sweetness. Like I said, it's coming off of the draw and it lingers through for a little bit. But there's also rich oak, black pepper. Now, like I said, the wine helps break it up because the dark chocolate and the sea salt caramel acts almost like a shield for this. It holds on to it and it makes everything coming off of this cigar magnify. Now, here's the wild part. But it has not affected the retrohale. The retrohale still remains smooth. Oh, and dark chocolate sea salt caramel I'm enjoying with this is Ghirardelli. I know I butchered this. Ladies, forgive me. I'm not a big chocolate fan, so yeah. So the Ghirardelli chocolate, dark chocolate, sea salt caramel, the purple wine, and this cigar, they're working quite well together. Now, the odd part about this is, again, I'm shocked that the spiciness, that still remains. It's still on my tongue. I've had the wine, I've had the chocolate. It's just a nice, like I said, cayenne or red pepper dialed down. It just holds on to the palate. That being said, I would definitely give a cigar an 8. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. The cigar is a solid 8. And I know I said earlier about the pairing that these these 3 are 8. So I'm going to keep going, see if there's any major flavor profile change when I get through when I get to the last third. All right, folks, see you then. Okay, everyone, we are at the halfway point pairing. And I can honestly say these 3 are working perfectly well together. None of the 3 are overpowering the other, but they are complementing and working with each other. Working with each other. Now, here's the funny part. This wine, I thought I was tripping. So I ran in the house. Thank goodness the wife had just went shopping. Yes, this sucker starts off tart. I do mean tart with Concord grape, but then it kicks over to the sweetness. And these, like I said, this is working so well with the cigar and the dark chocolate that right now I'm sitting at a solid 8.5. The reason why, all 3 of these are 8, but together they're not up there at a 9, but 8.5 is where they want to be, and I'm agreeing with it. Like I said, if you like wine, this is definitely going to be a good one. Definitely with a cigar that is somewhat peppery or heavy with pepper or spicy, meaning got a lot of red pepper or cayenne pepper in it. This will definitely help break it down and relax it. Now, as far as it alone, I don't know, because I'm not a big wine drinker. Actually, I'm not a big alcohol drinker altogether. But this right here, this is definitely enjoyable, and I've got about 5 or 6 cigars that I would love to have with this wine, because I think it would do great with toning down that pepper in them. That being said, I'll see y'all at the final third, and we're going to keep rolling. All right, folks, we are down to the final third pairing video, and right now it's solid 8.5. Like I said, this wine, it's solid 8. The cigar itself is coming off as a solid 8, and the Ghirardelli chocolate, like I said, all 3 just came in and they hit at that 8. Now, because of the wine being able to break up just being a solid wine, it's able to break up the staleness or the stagnantness that you may get from a cigar, meaning there's not a lot of flavor coming off of it. This does its job quite well. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and give all 3 an 8.5. It's not the best, it's not the greatest, but it's far from the worst. So that being said, the Sake Nigiri, the purple wine, and the dark chocolate sea salt caramel from Ghirardelli. Oh, I just butchered it anyway. I'm going to go ahead and give them all three together the 8.5. Now, do I think there may be another change? Yes. That's because of the cigar. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead, enjoy the cigar a little bit more, and if anything has changed, I'll let you know on the final third of the cigar video. Alright folks, see you on the next cigar. Okay everyone, we're back with the final third. As you can see, there's a nice little patch that was removed from when I removed the band. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say there has been another flavor profile change delivered from this cigar. Now you're getting that spiciness I said that was on the palate through the retrohale. So now when you retrohale, you definitely feel the cayenne or red pepper coming through the retrohale. It's still smooth, it's not heavy, but it is there and it doesn't burn out your sinuses. Now as far as this cigar is a solid 8. And as far as I said on the previous video, the last pairing video, all three of these are a solid 8.5. Since there hasn't been no other real change, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And you know, like I'll always say, if you got a bunch of cigars, smoke them. If you got more than a bunch of cigars, share them and make a cigar head. I've been trying with the person sitting to my right, but she's stubborn, folks. Yep, I'm talking about my wife. Now, she is great on helping me find wines and things of that nature that I've been putting with the cigars. I've even found cigars that I know that doesn't have a strong kick, but she's stubborn. That being said, I'll see y'all on the next cigar and the next cigar pairing video. Alright folks, see you then.
There comes a time in a man's life when he has to choose between the truth and a lie. You know, and we love to love, but see, when we ask ourselves 21 questions about compatibility, it's time to flee. And I'ma say it's me. I think you're better without me. I'm sorry we don't talk no more. I had to go. We're going nowhere. I froze and froze again. I bet you think I'm lame, but I'm cool. I'm cool, baby. See, I've always been a floater like a satellite, 'cause I'm Cayenne, I'm flying, and I'm riding off to the stars, mother lover. Let's believe you wouldn't find another. Society's all lost, cliff notes didn't fall off. Wanna call off, popping bottles on the weekend, but I'm a workaholic, so in the weekend I'ma hit up the beats, man, all